Lord, we're so in awe of you. Lord, we're so in awe of your word and how, Lord, how it is so practical to reveal to us the principles by which we can, Lord, live a life that is glorifying to you. Lord, I know your Spirit, how he empowers us to realize all that you have for us in this holy book. So we pray now that you would just have your way in our hearts. And as we consider this last phase of our journey as we continue to ascend together and conquering the house. Be with us now. Thank you and praise you. Lord, a beautiful song. So good. It speaks of who and what we have in the Lord. Take your Bibles with me. Join me in the letter to the Ephesians chapter 6. We are in the last phase of our journey together, in the conquering phase of our study. We had the privilege of meeting with Garrett's family and his friends and relatives yesterday as we celebrated his life in this room yesterday. And we shared with the group. So we've been at this together now for about a year and a half. And for me, it's been good. It's been one of the most fulfilling, enlightening studies that I've ever had the privilege of preaching through. And I have just absolutely fallen in love with this amazing letter called the letter to the Ephesians. A fully purposed people, right? That's what we can't ever lose sight of. It's the thing, in spite of their challenges, in spite of the craziness that was even going on in the days of the Apostle Paul. I don't know what you know about the city of Ephesus, but it was also this center of Baal worship. There was a temple that was built there for the goddess Diana, and there was a lot of craziness happening in that city. That in spite of all the nonsense and all the craziness, God's people in this great letter were able to stay focused, and were able to embrace and understand this incredible mission that can be revealed to them in this letter. And we know from our study that it all begins with never forgetting, never losing sight of who we are in Christ. That is the key to this life. In those first 3 chapters, we speak of our position, where we are spiritually from God's perspective. You're seated, the Bible says, in a heavenly place when we know it is your personal city. You see that in chapter 1 and verse 3. We saw in chapter number 2 how it's grace and the grace that God abounds in us that brings us to that place. For by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, lest any man should boast. In verse 10, he goes and speaks of the fact that we are his workmanship, that he's got a purpose for us, that he's got a plan for you and for me in this incredible journey called life as we continue the ascent. So we saw in chapter 1, we considered the heights. In chapter 2, we comprehended the heights. In chapter 3, we claimed the heights. In chapters 4 and half of 5, we began the climb. Because the climb is now on you and me. It's now our responsibility to take and accept what God said about us in those first 3 chapters and begin the ascent. That is where we have to accept responsibility in this journey. And as we've seen in the last few weeks, we are now in the last phase of this journey. We're now at the phase where we're conquering. Now there's still some things that are happening as we continue to conquer the heights. If you know anything about Everest, before you get to the summit of Mount Everest, you have to go through the Hillary Step. The Hillary Step is one of the most challenging and most technical parts of the climb up Everest. And it's the last time, just before the summit. Once you get up above the Hillary Step, you can see the summit. And this is where we're at. We're at the Hillary Step. Because as we've seen in the last few weeks, we have to embrace the preparation for that climb. We saw it in verses 18, 19, and 20. And from verse 21 to today, chapter 6 and verse 9, we're focusing on the relationships in this life. We've been focusing on what I would refer to as the horizontal level of life. the relationships in this life. This is where the challenges and the things that hinder our walk play out. This is why he spends so much time in chapter 5 focusing on the marital relationship. In chapter 6, in verses 1 through 4, he speaks of the relationship with the kids and the parents and the family situation. And from verses 5 on to 9, which is where we're going to finish up verse 9 today, he talks about the workplace relationship. And here's what we have to be mindful of. Those of you that are married, husband and wife, chapter 5. He is not the enemy. She is not the enemy. In the parenting situation, the parent is not the enemy. The child is not the enemy. Your boss at work, Charlie Romero, your boss, Cindy Romero, is not the enemy. Your subordinates, your employees are not the enemy. But it's in those situations where conflict abounds, where conflict plays out. How do we know that? Look at verse 10, and this is where we're going to pick up next week. Next week we start this warfare journey. Next week we start and we began this whole study about spiritual warfare, because it's at that level, at this spiritual level, where we're affected in this life horizontally. The stuff that we allow into our minds and into our heads about people, about things, about what is important, about what isn't important, all plays out between your ears. And we're going to embrace, and we're going to consider, and we're going to look at what God's Word says to us about removing ourselves and the keys to removing ourselves from the toxic thinking that goes on in our lives. The stinking thinking that we're all susceptible to in this life. Why? Because you have an enemy. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, the Apostle Paul says to the believers in Ephesus in verse number 10 and 11 of this chapter. This is not a physical thing. It's spiritual. And the key is going to be to put on God's armor every single day of our lives as we venture out those doors at home and even from the doors of this church, so that we can know and how it is that we can be warriors in this thing called warfare, so that we can conquer. Because what's really neat about the Word of God, in Romans chapter 8, Paul refers to us as already conquerors. We've already conquered. The issue is, or the challenge is, are we aware of that? And we venture through this thing called life. Because it is a crazy life. It is a nutty life. So this morning, we're going to finish up with the whole relationship, and our title is How to Be a Boss Without Being Bossy. Verse 9. One verse is all we're going to look at. So much depth to this verse, as you'll see as we unpack it and break it down. It's an incredibly powerful verse, and it's the last verse in the horizontal relationship level of this Ephesians perspective on life. Paul writes, before I go there, I want to just throw something up real quick. Because the theme or the notion and the take home for today is not this idea of being a boss at work or being bossy at work, much less. But it really comes down to one significant thought. And I found this graphic several years ago, and I'm glad I was able to find it again because it was buried on my computer somewhere. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see the top word on top, but it's really not about being a boss. It's really about being a leader. This is what God requires of us. It's night and day. Man's world, man's perspective versus God's view. And I thought this little graphic does a great job communicating what really today should be about. Because the neat thing about the Lord, the incredible thing about His Word and His holy book, His precious book that He gave us, He's given us everything that we need to equip us, to prepare us for dealing with this world. Because what we can't lose sight of, and this is perhaps why He gave us the workplace relationships last in this part of this study, is because we spend a whole heck of a lot of our time at the workplace. A lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort. So much so, God in His infinite wisdom took two places in the New Testament to deal with the whole workplace relationship. In Colossians 4 and right here in Ephesians 6. And He says this to us in this great letter. Verse 9, one verse this morning. We're going to look at what He has to say to us. He says, and ye masters, do the same things unto them. If you remember from our study last week, let's just go ahead and just backtrack. And let's just start with verse 5, where the whole workplace thing started, because what Paul is doing in verse number 9 is he's taking the leader, boss man, back to verse 5. And he says this, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters, according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, and singleness of your heart, as unto Christ. So he, in dealing with the employee in that verse, he says, hey, don't ever lose sight that you're really not working for the guy in the workplace, but you're really working for Jesus Christ. So he's saying this to the masters in verse 9, or to the employer, the boss, the leader, that this verse also applies that at the end of the day, you do have a master in heaven, it's Jesus Christ. That's who you and I are really working for. So we can always maintain that perspective as we venture out into the workplace, and you're going to be able to stay sane in an insane world. It says this next, in verse 6. He says, not what I serve as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. With good will doing services to the Lord and not to them, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And he says this next, and ye masters, do the same things unto them. What are the same things? Everything that we just read, plus more. Why? Because you're the leader. Because he's writing to the leader. You have more responsibility in the relationship. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 21, Jesus said to his disciples, to whomsoever much is given, much is what? Much is required. There's more responsibility for those of you in leadership in this life. Whether it's in a relationship at home, we talked about the responsibility of the parent, the father, the husband in the relationship, because you are, by default, a picture of Jesus Christ in husband and wife relationship. You are the leader. Therefore, you hold more responsibility. And all we have to do is look at this world and see what Satan has done to the family and how effective he's been in destroying families by attacking the default leader in the relationship. He's real. He's so real. And all I have to do is look at this world, look at the relationships on this planet, even this church, even within my own relationships, my family back at Bossy, and I see how effective he's been in attacking the family. So Paul is going to drive this whole thing home for you and for me. And the first thing I want us to consider is and embrace is this whole idea of being a leader of principle. And here's the thought regarding this. He says, and ye masters do the same things unto them, forbearing, and I love this phrase, forbearing, threatening. In other words, he says, cease from being a dictator. Don't be intimidating those that are below you. Don't lose sight of how God views you and how he treats you, and we ought to be the same to others. So the issue that he's driving home here is being a leader of principle. Here's how Webster defines principles, and I want you to hang with me because principles are everything in this life. This is what governs who and how we operate. There are natural principles out there, whether you realize it or not, right? That if we don't adhere to them, things just won't happen in our life. This is why you find phrases or verses like in Ephesians chapter 6, whatsoever a man soweth, that will he also what? Reap. You know what I see in people's lives today? They're not sowing. And then they're wondering why there's no reaping at the end. Or they're planting seed in the fall when they should have planted seed in the spring. Because in America, we want instant gratification. We want it right now, right? We even buy our jeans faded so we don't have to put it through the washer every time. I had a good friend one time who would pull up to the drive-thru at McDonald's and he would get his food in 30 seconds or a minute. He was angry. We want everything now. That's our culture. God doesn't operate like that. Anything that is worth anything is going to require an investment. That's why farming principles are so profound. Because that farmer gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, in the spring, he plows the ground, he moves the stones, he does all that he does to till the ground. Why? So he can plant the seed. And then along the process, as God brings forth rain and other things to help him in bringing forth the harvest or the crop. You got to weed. You got to deal with stuff along the way so that we can experience the harvest in the whole. But yesterday on Fridays, I was the corn. Man, that corn was good. That's my fix every year. Corn. And I was telling Isaac about the pork chop sandwiches this year. You guys gotta go. I don't know the name of the food, but it's good. Is that going here, boy? Okay, well, it's all about investment. This is what principles are about. This is how Webster defines principle community. It's a truth or a law that provides governance to situations and circumstances. It's a tenet. That which is believed, whether true or not, but which serves as a rule of action or the basis of a system, is how Webster expounds on the concept of a principle. And it's all about principles when it comes to leadership, and I want us, like never before, to embrace the notion and the idea of what it means to be principled, to have principle-centered leadership as we deal with our employees in the workplace. When I talk about the workplace, I'm not just talking about where you work, but I'm talking within how we govern within the church, how we work with the disciples that God has blessed us with in this body. Those of you that are teachers, those of you that are investing in students, you have a responsibility as a leader. So leaders is not just about a businessman or a CEO or some high-level position in corporate America, but it has to do with every aspect of life. This is why Paul said what he said to the Corinthians in 1 Corinthians 11:1. He says, "Be ye followers of me as I am" what? A follower of Jesus Christ. I forget how Larry Socia quotes it, but hey, Larry, start on the thought about what happens if there are no followers in our lives. We make this out. There, I like that. You hear that? He who leads with no followers is merely taking a walk. That is so right on. Right? This is what the body of Christ is about, because he's put us here together so that we could lead each other, so that we could be there for each other as we go through this journey together. That's discipleship. And Jesus, he epitomized this in his journey. One of the last things, and you'll see that in the Gospel of John, chapter 13, one of the last things that Jesus did with his disciples as he was preparing to leave them, as he was preparing to go to the cross, he sat them down on chairs just like his 12 chairs. And mind you, the 12th chair was this guy named Judas Iscariot, who Jesus had already called out that he was going to betray him. Prior to Jesus washing their feet, he already knew what Judas was going to do. He can still wash this guy's feet. You know, loudmouth Peter, Lord Jesus, why are you doing this? Why are you washing our feet? We should be washing yours. And Jesus goes on, he explains to him why he was doing it. He says, this is an example of how and where I need you to be after I leave. I want you to be a servant to the world, he says. It's called servant leadership. And Peter says, all right, if you feel that way about it, why don't you wash my head, hands, and why don't you give me a sponge bath? This is where Peter wanted him to go with this whole thing. That was always so Peter, always taking everything to the extreme. What an example. What an example to him when he lines up his followers, and the last thing he does is brings a towel and a dish and washes their feet. He says to them, this is what life is about. This is why I came. This is so that we can reach those that are less fortunate, that don't have what we have. See, because the human tendency for any of us in authority is to want to rule. The old adage, right? Absolute power does what? Corrupts absolutely. It does. Pride is what enters into the heart of man. I believe it's Proverbs 13:10, very profound passage, very profound verse. Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived, wrote these words. Only by pride cometh contention. Is there conflict at work in the workplace? Is there conflict in your marriage? Is there conflict in your parent-child relationship? You know what's causing that? Pride. Only this is. Only by pride. So there's the source. There's the source. And one of the things that we need to contend with, and one of the things that we're going to focus on and look at next week, is the source of pride. The reality of this guy, this devil guy, your adversary, who desires and wants to do nothing more than to destroy your life. Jesus called him out in John chapter 10. The thief comes to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to steal your joy, kill your dreams, and destroy your family. Frankly, he's being somewhat and pretty successful in this culture. Why? Because we've lost sight of what this whole thing is really about. And Jesus epitomized servant leadership. Look with me in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10. And it's no coincidence that this would show up in the Gospel of Mark, because when you study the Gospels, there are four and only four Gospels that are really profound, because you have four Gospels because from a throne room perspective, there are four creatures, these four cherubim that you find in Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 10, chapter 10 of Ezekiel. You find them again in the book of Revelation chapter 4. You're getting four perspectives of the throne room. If you remember, one of those cherubim had the face of a lion, the other one had the face of an ox, the other one the face of a man, and the fourth one the face of an eagle. And what you're getting is four different perspectives of Jesus Christ from these four different gospel writers. Mark's perspective was the ox one. If you know anything about the ox, the farmer can't plant seed without latching the plow onto that beast of burden called the ox. He's castrated specifically to be a beast of burden, to work. So the perspective that Mark is going to give us of Jesus Christ is that of a servant. Only two of the four Gospels provide a genealogy for us, Matthew and Luke. Mark does not, and neither does John. You know why Mark doesn't provide us a genealogy? Because the servant has no genealogy. Right? The slaves, the black African people that were brought to this country in that very sinful, pathetic way in what is part of our history, the real part of our history, lost their real identities. They were brought here as slaves, but they took on the names of what? Whistleblowers. Jesus, in this great gospel called the Gospel of Mark, manifests himself to us as a servant. And listen to what he says about leadership in the context of servanthood in Mark chapter 10. I'm going to begin reading down here in verse, I believe it's verse number 32, or 35 actually. And again, you see the same kind of human nature kicking in. Some of his disciples were with him at this stage, and you're very familiar. For out of the 12, there were 3 guys that were somewhat unique in the sense that Jesus took these 3 guys to a whole other level in his revelation to them. It's Peter, James, and John. Those 3 guys. James and John are brothers. They're known as the sons of Zebedee, or the sons of thunder, and they show up in this story. And just like you and me, because of our pride, we have a tendency or desire to be put on a pedestal because we had a special, unique relationship with Jesus. And look at how Jesus puts these guys in their place, and he starts like this. This is a great story. Verse 35. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, they come unto him, saying, Master, we would that thou shouldest do for us whatsoever we shall desire. And he said unto them, What would ye that I should do for you? And they said unto him, Grant unto us that we may sit one on the right hand and the other on thy left hand in thy glory. So Jesus at the coming kingdom, because we're special in your eyes, and you've revealed to us all this cool stuff. I'm not sure if it was James or John talking about. So Jesus, I think my brother James ought to be over here, and I think I ought to be over here. Or you're standing in glory. You know what Jesus did? He said, you have no clue what it's going to take to be able to sit in glory. All because they were getting all this other level of revelation. They thought they were more than they were. Sound like some of us? Pride. How do we know it's pride? Only by pride cometh contention, Solomon said. Look at the next verse. Verse 39, they said unto him, We can. And Jesus said unto them, Ye shall indeed drink of the cup that I drink of, and with the baptism that I am baptized with shall ye be baptized. But to sit on the right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared. Man, if you only knew the depth of that passage, and whom he has prepared this for. Remember Ephesians 1:3? And when the 10, the other 10 guys, and when the 10 heard it, they began to be much displeased with James and John. Very displeased. And Jesus called them to him, he said unto them, Ye know not that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it be not among you, that whosoever will be great among you shall be your what? Your minister. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be the servant of all. Look at the picture. See Jesus' view of the world. You want to be a leader? Then learn first what it means to be a servant. We just want to jump up that corporate ladder, step on everybody we can on the way up. Just like James and John. And Jesus calls them out and says, You want to lead? You better know what it means to serve. And this is why I love this little gospel. This is what it should be about. I see this ministry team in this church, and man, we're so blessed to have the leaders that we have. They understand this. So keep, please, lifting us up together, this leadership team, because without this perspective, without this view of what it means to oversee, we'll just be another dead church in this late period called Holy Season. Being leaders of principle. One of my favorite books, written by a very spiritual author. I'm not sure exactly his religious background is, but he doesn't actually come out and talk about his faith much in his writings. But it's pretty evident that there's a strong belief out on his bicycle, riding a bike, had wrecked, and he got brain damage and passed away. His name was Stephen Covey. If you've ever heard of Stephen Covey, the most famous book that he ever wrote was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think his best work was another book that he wrote later on called Principle-Centered Leadership. Great book. Unbelievable book in terms of really practically applying the God view of leadership. If you remember from the book, if you've ever read it or if you haven't, there's a little tagline below it or a little subtitle that reads like this. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he sits on his boat all day long drinking beer. No, that's not what he said. He says this. He says, if you give a man a fish, that only in northern New Mexico. If you give a man a fish, this is so profound. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. You know what this should be about? You know what church should be about? Feeding. Teaching people to feed themselves. And that is the gist. That is the heart of that book. And in that book, he says something really profound as he begins to lay out this principle-centered leadership model that are really key. And he begins with knowing and understanding who we are. He starts about this. He has this, imagine these circles, and the most centric of the circles, he calls it the personal. And we touched on this last week, but this is where your integrity comes in. This is where your and my character comes in this leadership circle. And beyond the leadership circle is known as the interpersonal circle, which is the next circle outside of the personal one. And you know what the key is there? Covey is driving the fact home that you and the relationship in this life are all that matter. And then beyond the interpersonal circle, you get into what he refers to as the managerial one. This is where you empower people, where you delegate. This is what Jesus did with the disciples. Jesus just blows me away. He spends 3.5 years with these guys teaching them, and he didn't just teach them with words. He would teach them, he would say, let's go live it. They would live it. And at the end of his life, in chapter number 14, in verse number 12, you find it in the context there. Jesus says to them as he's getting ready to leave them at the Last Supper, he says, guess what, dudes? You're going to do greater things than I. Jesus said that to his followers. What a God we serve. What an incredible God that we serve. The best thing, the greatest thing that we could ever do for our kids is to encourage them. Our kids, not just physically in this life, but spiritually, right? Listen to what Paul said to the Colossians in Colossians chapter number 3. I think the last part of the chapter, he's talking about the relationship between the parent and child. He says, fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, lest they be discouraged. Discourage them. What's the contrast or the opposite of discourage? Encourage. Courage in them. You give them courage inside. One of the things that we're going to have to deal with and go through in this life is we're going to need some courageous people like never before. Because this world's getting nutcrackers, man. And how we respond, and how we come together, and how we armor up every single day will be the key to victory in this life. To helping each other up, as some of us will get wounded along the way, because in war there's always casualties, right? And what an amazing principle this guy provides for us. The personal, the interpersonal, the empowerment, the managerial. And then he talks about the organizational one. This is where we bring structure and order to life. He uses the subtitle, the subterm alignment. Bringing things in alignment. In order for things to align appropriately, you know what we need? You know what we all need? Those of you in leadership at work or in the home, the importance of a vision. Vision is so key, it's so critical. I don't know if you realize this, but there's a little Old Testament book tucked away at the back of your Bible. Old Testament prophets. The book of Habakkuk. You know what the focus of Habakkuk is? About vision. Here's what's really cool. You know what the name Habakkuk means? He talks about vision in those 3 chapters, about having a burden, having a vision, getting a vision from God, and then going out in chapter 3, implementing the vision, and then his name means to embrace it. The name Habakkuk means to embrace the vision. Solomon, that wise dude that we were talking about earlier, Proverbs 20:19. You know what it says in 20:19? Where there is no vision. In other words, if we're going to go through life blindly, he says, where there is no vision, the people what? The people perish. People perish. So you know what we did in our church several years ago? We came up with a vision statement or vision principles. We took the word Bible, B-I-B-L-E, and we put it to some structure. Even how we function in this body, there are 5 ministries under the guise of these principles. When we talk about bringing glory to God, we use that phrase within the context of worship and prayer and praise and all those things. But at the end of the day, this is why we exist. You are not here to take up a chair in church. You are not here just to be called a good Christian, a good God, church-going American Christian. You are here for one reason only, and that is to bring glory to Jesus Christ. That's why. Now the issue is, or the challenge becomes, how does that happen? You know how we orchestrated it in our church? You know how we structured it in our church? By implementing those other 4. Investing His Word in people. Investing God's Word. This is called discipleship. This is called Bible study. This is called life groups. Doing life together, investing in each other. Man, I can't tell you how my soul has been blessed to see how the Martins have dealt with the people in their life group, with the Garretts and Garrett's situation, with the Robinson situation. And it was so cool when we were talking to Janine yesterday. We were all getting ready to leave, and now that Garrett's not around, she says to George while I'm standing here, "You're not going to leave me now, are you, George?" He says, "Are you kidding? Are you joking?" I said, "You're in our life group. We're doing life together." This is what it's about. This is what the body of Christ should be about. And then we saw it play out so beautifully yesterday, the way you guys ministered to that family. I'm just so in awe of you. I'm so proud to be the pastor of this church and how you love and how you minister to that family. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. Don't stop doing that. Embrace this vision. This vision of allowing God to invest His Word in you, allowing us to invest His Word in you. Be ye followers of me, Paul said, as I am a follower of Jesus Christ. That's called discipleship. And having said that, that leads us to the next B. And through that process, we're able to have fellowship with each other, hang out with each other. Man, what a blessing it is when we're able to do that. The relationships that are developed, that are enhanced because of the letter I stuff, which leads us to the letter L. You at some point embracing this world, accepting the words of Jesus. If you want to lead, you better know what it means to minister to the needs of people so that He can make you that leader that He desires you to be. Why? Because at the end of the day, we want to get to the letter B. We want to take you out these doors and know and realize that outside these doors is the real mission field. You know what this room is about? You know what this facility is about? Think about the word facility. It's to facilitate. Facilitate what? Edification, growth, brotherly love, relationships, so that we could be a light and testimony to a lost and dying world that has no purpose, that has no hope, that has no reason for existence. Outside those doors. And then we bring them in here and we love on them and we invest in them. You teach them and you reveal to them. At the end of the day, it's all about God's word. Principles. Another key thought in this verse is being a leader with perspective. Look with me here in verse number 9 again. He says, "And ye masters, do the same things unto them, your servants, your employees, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven." Knowing that your master, oh, what a reminder that is, huh? You better watch out how you behave, how you are as a leader, because God is above your knucklehead. What a perspective. How enlightening that is, knowing that we serve and we worship a sovereign God. A constant acknowledgement of God in our daily lives is key and is critical in this journey. Jesus again proves his love, and he proves this principle in that last phase of his life. In chapter 13, he brings them together and he washes their feet. In chapter 14, he introduces them to the Holy Spirit, and he talks to them about how he's going to be this comforter. And it's in that verse, and it's in that chapter where he talks about them doing greater things than he ever did. In chapter 15, you find the fruit of the vine story, how connect with me and abide in me, and you're going to be okay through this journey, through this life. And you get to chapter number 16, he expounds on those thoughts. You get to 17, you know what he's doing? He goes into another room, and he goes to the Father, and he starts to pray to his Father. He never lost out how precious and how important his people were, his guys were. He was a leader, and Jesus is a leader with perspective. And he prays to the Father. If you want to see that passage, we're not going to, I have it in my notes to read it to you, but you go on your own time, read it, but it's chapter 17, verses 6 through 19. I'll read a couple of verses if I may, and just to kind of give you some context or digest. John chapter 6. Man, I just so love this prayer. Talk about a God, a leader that loves his followers. He says, I have manifested, he's praying to the Father now, I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Isn't that awesome view? He's thanking the Father for giving him these men. They were yours, but you gave them to me, Lord, and I just praise you and I thank you for them. And he says now in verse 7, Now they have known that all things, whomsoever thou hast given me, are of thee. He pointed them back to this Lord. What boss thinks like this of his people? Imagine if we would all look at our employees like this. If we prayed for our employees. This is John 17. What did I say? That was a different sermon. 6 through 19. Yes. This is a perspective that only Jesus can bring. And the last principle to consider this morning is being a leader without prejudice. The last part of the verse reads like this. Knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither in God is there respect of persons with him. You know what it is? You know what this is about? You know what this principle is about? Treating everybody with dignity, regardless of who you think you are in a relationship. That's what people desire. That's what people deserve. Remember in my secular workplace world, I became really, really good friends with the janitors. Was Oscar still around then? He became a good friend. He would come in and I would go home late sometimes because this guy wanted to talk about the Bible with me. He'd always come and sit down after he emptied my trash. And we have this incredible relationship, you know why? Because we treated each other with mutual respect. And so often we go through this life not realizing what somebody is going through and just ignoring them like they don't exist. What a contrast to the way Jesus used it. He was always there for the leper, for the adulteress, the wine bibber. In fact, he caught a lot of flack from the scribes and the Pharisees, the leadership, the religious crowd, because that's who he chose to hang out with. Taking the time and just listening to them and meeting them at their need. That is the Jesus that we serve. That is the Jesus of the Bible. Because you have no clue. We have no clue what somebody might be going through. When they come and walk through these doors. Or maybe it's somebody at work. Tom Boylan was sharing this with us this morning in prayer. Where's Tom Boylan? Tom Boylan was sharing with us a story this morning about a situation that Renee had at her school. She's a 6th grade teacher. And she started to see a situation play out with a brother and his sister. It was getting really ugly. They weren't getting along, and there was a lot of anger and frustration. And she would go to Renee, and the little girl would go to Renee and say, "Hey, my brother is hurting at home." And it turns out that he was raping his sister. That's the broken, dysfunctional world we live in. The sinful world we live in. See, we have no clue sometimes what we're going to walk into this. How do we respond? Man, how do you respond to a situation like that? My goodness. And this is why it's not just about the theology, it's not just about the stuff in our head, but this holy book that needs to go from here to here so that we can manifest it out there. With God's plan and His desire for our lives. And what better place than to embrace this incredible charge that He's given each and every one of us to embrace. We put up a slide, I don't know what happened to it, did it die for whatever reason? We put up a slide up there. And it was intentional for today. And it says this: God never calls the qualified. There are a ton of those people out. Brilliant people with all the gifts and the skills. You know what He does? He qualifies the call. Be part of the call. And He's speaking to your heart to take that place in your life and embrace it. Realize why you were left on this planet after He saved you. Not to take up a spot in this church in another chair. If that's why you're going to church, you know what I would recommend? You go to the cathedral because they've got a huge room, a massive room. It's not about going to church. It's about becoming what God has called you to be. Why He left you here. Open your eyes to this world. To a broken and dysfunctional world. I have a little video I want to share with you real quick. Could I have, can you take I think it's the switch on top, the smart blue. Just hit that. That's okay. We know what you mean. I don't know which one it is. I can never figure them out, so you're not alone. Yeah, something like that. It's a cheesy little video. But at the same time, I think it speaks volumes to what we were trying to get at today. And I just want to leave you with this thought. And I'm going to have Kalani close this song. Is that on, Mila?
Mrs. Thompson was a school teacher.
Wait a minute.
It's time to teach school year at St. John's students.
One yet?
I have.
I'm good at doing this every time home.
As she stood in front of her 5th grade class on the first day of school, she told the children an untruth. Like most teachers, she looked at her students and said that she loved them all the same. However, that was impossible because there in the front row, slumped in his seat, was a little boy named Teddy Stallion. Miss Thompson had watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he didn't play well with other children, that his clothes were messy, and that he constantly needed a bath. And Teddy could be unpleasant. It got to the point where Miss Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with a broad red pen, making bold X's, and then putting a big F at the top of his papers. At the school where Miss Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's past records, and she put Teddy's off until the last. However, when she reviewed his file, she was in for a surprise. Teddy's first grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and has good manners. He is such a joy to be around." His second grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is an excellent student, well liked by his classmates, but he is troubled because his mother has a terminal illness, and life at home must be a struggle." His third grade teacher wrote, "His mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if some steps aren't taken." Teddy's fourth grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is withdrawn and doesn't show much interest in school. He doesn't have many friends, and he sometimes sleeps in class." By now, Miss Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed of herself. She felt even worse when her students brought her Christmas presents, wrapped in beautiful ribbons and bright paper, except for Teddy's. His present was clumsily wrapped in heavy brown paper that he got from a grocery bag. Miss Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of the other presents. Some of the students started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing and a bottle that was 1/4 full of perfume, but she stifled the children's laughter when she explained how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on, and dabbing some of the perfume on her wrist. Teddy Stallion stayed after school that day, just long enough to say, "Miss Thompson, today he smelled just like my mom used to." After the children left, she cried for at least an hour. On that very day, she quit teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. Instead, she began to teach children. Miss Thompson paid particular attention to Teddy. As she worked with him, his mind began to come alive. The more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. By the end of the year, Teddy had become one of the smartest children in the class. And, despite her lie that she would love all the children the same, Teddy became one of her teacher's pets. A year later, she found a note on her door from Teddy, telling her that she was the best teacher he'd ever had in his whole life. 6 years went by before she got another note from Teddy. He then wrote that he had finished high school third in his class, and she was still the best teacher he ever had in his whole life. 4 years after that, she got another letter saying that while things had been tough at times, he'd stayed in school. He'd stuck with it and would soon graduate from college with the highest of honors. Again, he assured Miss Thompson that she was still the best and favorite teacher he'd ever had. Then 4 more years passed, and yet another letter came. After he got his bachelor's degree, he had decided to go a little further. She was still the best and favorite teacher he'd ever had. But now his name was a little longer. The letter was signed Peter F. Stallage, M.D. The story does not end here. There was yet another letter that spring. Teddy said he'd met this girl and was going to be married. He explained that his father had died a couple of years ago, and he was wondering if Miss Thompson might agree to sit at the wedding in the place that was usually reserved for the mother of the groom. Of course, Miss Thompson did, and guess what? She wore that bracelet, the one with several rhinestones missing. Moreover, she made sure she was wearing the perfume that Teddy remembered his mother wearing on their last Christmas together. They hugged each other, and Dr. Stallard whispered in Miss Thompson's ear, "Thank you for believing in me. Thank you so much for making me feel important and showing me that I could make a difference." Miss Thompson, with tears in her eyes, whispered back. She said, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I didn't know how to teach until I met you." You can never tell what type of impact you may have on another's life by your actions or lack of action. Please consider this fact in your venture through life, and just try to make a difference in someone else's life today.
Use 5 more minutes and we'll get through these announcements real quick. There's some important stuff happening in the next few days that I want to do for you guys. Again, welcome to everyone. This is your first time. I just want to welcome you first